Okay, so here we go.
Yeah, here we are. We are live again.
In full effect.
Wow, Timur, it's been a while, huh?
It has been, and a lot of things happened on the market, on a basketball court, and literally in court, where FIBA and EuroLeague take their matters. So a lot of stuff to discuss.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, a lot of a lot of stuff to discuss, and we're gonna hit it off with maybe the craziest thing that the players market have been through during the last few weeks, I guess. Let's start with the Euro invasion. I mean, we've seen Chacho going for 8 million per year. We've seen Kuzminskas going to the Knicks to the Knicks, right? Or Boston was it? I can't even remember right now. With everything that happened,
paying massive buyout to the Rusafaka, who are just making money.
The one thing is for sure though, the Euro core is getting stronger and stronger in the NBA.
Yeah, now you can see the guys who are in the talks regarding going to the NBA. Rudy Fernandez, of course, Sergio Rodriguez, who already played in the NBA and now is planning to come back to the US. Here he is with the New York Knicks back in his young days. So a lot of people, a lot of movement, and we're gonna see how it works out.
So yeah, let's talk about the potential effects, because the way I see it right now, it's going to be harder and harder for the top level teams, if not keeping their rosters, then at least enhancing them to become better.
Definitely, and a lot of people will take longer time to take their decisions. They will wait out till the latest stages of summer markets in the NBA, going into autumn probably, to try to grasp every chance. And now European GMs will have great headache trying to form a roster. For example, in the summer, they will really have to wait until the American players make their minds on their future, if they want to take those unguaranteed contracts in the NBA, or do they want to take money in the European countries. A lot of stuff might change in how people think and how people make decisions on the transfer market because of the blooming market, the blooming revenues in the US, in the NBA.
And the salary cap is just going to go up and up from year to year, so it's gonna get even harder and harder from season to season. But the way I see it, at least, there is like two potential consequences. One of them is the short term, and this is something that we are right now witnessing. That means that a lot of players that they got waived or finished their contracts, teams decided to opt out. They're gonna seek the money first, and the money right now is first of all in either different NBA teams or potentially in China, which is not a surprise.
Yeah, they're pushing for new sponsors, for new markets, and they're successful in China. So yeah, we see more and more players exploring that option. But I think it's pretty ironical here. Behind your back, the screen shows the new era of EuroLeague. Get ready for a new season. And this is going to be a new era in terms of competition. Less teams, elite games every week, couple of times a week. Plus, in EuroCup, we have some former EuroLeague clubs, plus some up-and-coming clubs that want to go to EuroLeague, who are ambitious and who will invest in their projects to try to break into that elite company of 16 teams. This is a new era, but at the same time, there's a downside. This is what we're talking about. Probably it's going to be much harder to keep and to lure American players from overseas.
That's why we're seeing that every team is doing whatever it can in order to keep their roster going for at least another year or two. But long-term speaking, it may do good to European basketball, simply to the fact that we're going to see more and more local talent, from teams that maybe don't have the means to to pay the big salaries that might be happening because of the Euro invasion to the NBA. And I'm not talking about the draft, baby. I'm talking some serious, serious talent going from Europe to the NBA. And like you said, it's going to be Sergio Rodriguez from Madrid. There's going to be, even Rudy said that, Fernandez said that, I got the offer from the Sixers. I didn't take it. It was my decision, but the offer was on the table. And we're seeing, bigger and bigger talents from our old continent going to the, play overseas. So it's definitely going to be much more interesting, especially when we're going to see more and more local talent, I'm guessing, over the years, unless something is going to change money-wise.
Right. But now I'd like to bring this person to our conversation, Georgios Bartzokas, who's also making a move this summer, and his work in Monaco.
So I'd like to start first of all by saying, congratulations to Coach Bartzokas. He definitely deserves the place that he got to, and that is, of course, with the amazing season he had with local basket. And the thing is, I would like to take you back in time a few months ago. Maccabi were actually, my sources told me, we want him. That was before, they ended their season prematurely. They said they wanted him, in between when they were looking for coaches, and sources said, Kuban were not gonna put a lot of obstacles in his way because, for him, it's been a rough year with all the success. Still, it was very hard on him, family-wise, being away from his family, with not like having a big airport that is a center of attraction for Europe. So, flights were much, much harder for him. And all of a sudden, the buyout for him went through the roofs after the season for 1 million euros. But Barcelona managed, after, I'm guessing, long negotiations to bring him to bring the buyout clause to half of what Kuban were asking for. So
yeah, but anyway, Bartzokas not only earned an upgrade of a club for himself, he
the
also
entire roster made it. I mean, we're talking Randolph, we're talking Delaney going to the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, it's amazing.
Here's Delaney on our screens right now, and Delaney is only one of the benefactors of the work that Bartzokas did, and because of that, Barcelona now not only gets a coach who knows the game, who's a proven winner, but now players are going to be attracted to play for him because they see what he did for other guys in Loco. Basically everybody getting an upgrade in their career, getting a better contract, in a better situation. I mean, in a better named club, in a bigger club. So obviously, great work by Coach Bartzokas, and well done for.
I mean, we know that Chris Singleton joined Panathinaikos. We know that Randolph is pretty much on his way. Pretty much done deal with Madrid, according to the reports. We know about Delaney going to the Hawks, and you know what? For him, I'm happy for him. The guy wanted NBA. He could, he bled, sweat, did whatever he can to go there, and he made it. And that's like, the best example you can give for young athletes, going to the future.
Right, but going back to Barcelona and Bartzokas, I guess for them, this is a bit of a desperation move. It shows how much they want to win right now, because Satoransky is probably looking at the NBA more and more now.
Yeah, it seems like a done deal right now.
Yeah, and Navarro obviously won't last long. So you don't know what's going to happen on the market. So you grab the best coach you can right now. You pay what they ask to get him. So this is a pretty interesting move by Barcelona. Just show the level of desperation in the office, and I guess shows the fans that the office is willing to spend, is willing to risk and make moves to achieve some goals on the court.
Mean, it goes without saying, when you're looking at what they had this season, what they wanted, and where they wanted to get, especially after being in the 2014 Final Four. This year was a catastrophe, for them, being eliminated in the first rounds of the Copa del Rey, being not able to sustain a home court advantage, making it to the not having the home court advantage, but stealing the home court advantage, not making it at the end to the Final Four and not winning any title whatsoever this season was pretty much too much for them. That's why Juan Creos have stepped down. They've appointed Rodrigo de la Fuente as their the club GM. They knew they had to do to make big moves, so their voice will be heard maybe next season the best way they can.
Okay, so let's talk about another topic that we had in mind.
The front
all this movement. With all this movement, I think it's interesting to see how the scarce deficit product of big man is going to work on the market. Each year, for example, if you talk to people in top Russian teams, CSKA, Khimki, you ask about who you're gonna try to bring every year. There's also like a headache for GMs to find some big men that are reliable, that are healthy, and then can play at the high level every night and be effective on both ends on the floor. Right now, this is a very, very deficit product, very deficit supply of such high quality players. So let's see what's gonna happen. Now we know that Fenerbahce has re-signed the front court.
They went big. I mean, we talked about like a couple of days ago. We figured that it's going to be harder than ever because it was obvious that both Ekpe Odo and Jan Vesely are going to get big offers from the NBA. But at the end of the day, it was Fener who managed to secure not just Vesely, but Udo, who had serious talks with a few NBA teams. He had NBA on his mind, top priority, and he stays with Fener.
But
so
I think
that's like a big move for Maurizio Geraldini from Fener, the entire management over there, for a great move. And you know what? I think the CSKA, they played it very well, bringing James Augustine, which is a very convenient man. It's very efficient. You know exactly what you're going to get from him. He's all hard, and I think it's a win-win situation for them.
For sure, and James Augustine is also a type of guy who can produce big numbers in big minutes, but he can also be effective in smaller stretches, which is extremely important when you play in such a deep team as CSKA. And also, just personality-wise, I think James Augustine is a great fit for CSKA system. He's a team player. He's a win-first guy, and I think this is just what this roster on the CSKA is about right now, like winning, sacrificing for the team, and this is what James Augustine can do. And talking about re-signing Udo, definitely a great success for Fenerbahce. And also, I see here a parallel with Fenerbahce and CSKA, because it's also a big move, keeping Nando De Colo MVP of everything this season in Moscow for another couple of years. So obviously, De Colo signed his new contract before all this craziness began in the NBA. So maybe right now he's a little bit regretting his decision, seeing
he might be
going every way possible. Yes, overseas. But anyway, I think this is a big argument, and maybe this was the argument with Ekpe Udo, because when you talk about guys going from Europe to the NBA, you're not talking about franchise players anyway, at least not right away, but like most generally, these are role players, some specialty guys, important players, important pieces on a lot of teams, but not star players, not the leaders. And here in Europe, these guys, De Colo, Udo, they might be those leaders. They are those leaders. They are the cornerstones of their teams, and at the same time, they compete for the biggest trophies in Europe with their teams, which is, I believe, definitely important for the best players on the planet.
I want to get back to the our bigs discussion. It's without a doubt maybe the most impressive, the most the biggest season, the most amazing, spectacular thing we've witnessed. I think was the one of Ioannis Bourousis.
Oh yes, so many rumors, so many rumors.
So many what? Oh, about him, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he's obviously he's very wanted, very much wanted. desired in Panathinaikos, but obviously he's getting some NBA interest. I can, we can say that for sure. It remains to be seen where he's gonna join, but there, like you said, not a lot of big guys that can play both ends of the court. Not a lot of big guys that are so efficient, but still, I think that Olympiacos made a great move, though it's a high risk, high reward, since you don't know how Pat Young is going to come back from the injury. But character-wise, for him, he's definitely ready to come back and create havoc wherever he steps. And Khem Birch, for them, this specific duo can do pretty much whatever they want. You've got shot blockers. That it's a very athletic lineup that can be very efficient. And I'm also, a bit peculiar about Anadolu. Getting Krestic back after a torn ACL. I can see where they're going with it, bringing both Tyus and him. But it remains to be seen. Like I said, it's a high risk, high reward, and the teams that have managed to strike first have definitely got a big advantage going into the season, especially with what happens now in the market, like Maccabi Tel Aviv, securing Quincy Miller, Sonny Weems, even Mike Zerbs, which can prove to be getting another great season, especially with what happens right now.
Yeah, he is another royalty big who is a big body who can move his feet on defense and who has his own on offense. He can be a one-on-one player. He can be a pick and roll player. Very efficient. And Maccabi is definitely going to be an interesting story this season. After last season failures, they're really loading up with some big guns. And I'm a little bit concerned about the character clash in the locker room because I seen those type of chemistry in the CSKA locker room a couple of years ago when Messidon was in charge here. And sometimes people are not ready to come into a big team and become a small contributor. Like people like Weems and Quincy Miller, they're definitely wanting, they're definitely expecting to leave a big mark with their game. If they're asked to, play a diminished role, play less minutes, play some short stretches, maybe this is where some problems begin for the team. Of course, it's too early to say, but this is just one of my concerns when I look at Maccabi. But otherwise, definitely so many talent, very athletic roster, and they're definitely look to make a big comeback this season.
I mean, to be honest, when I had the chance to talk with some of CSKA's players after Messina left, they were all pretty much saying the same thing, that they were playing much looser. A lot, everyone knew exactly what they want to do and how they want to do it. There were a lot more room to maneuver, but like I said, it remains to be seen because right now the talent is big, and Sonny Weems as just as much as Quincy Miller, they are expected to play big roles in this team. So it depends right now. The question needs to be asked is the players that are going to play the backup roles, the role players, who they're going to be and what they're going to do. That's going to be a big thing. Talking about next season for Maccabi.
Right. Let's mention another important topic. The basketball wars, the feud between EuroLeague and FIBA, and basically becoming conflict between many national federations as 12 countries signed up, clubs from 12 countries signed up for the EuroCup. And well, it's kind of strange for me actually that the development of the events is kind of slow, because you would expect FIBA to react much stronger after they hear some official lists from the EuroCup. And they did send letters to the federations asking to act, to take some measures towards the clubs that submitted for EuroCup. But strangely, there is very little noise. The biggest noise may be coming from Israel and Russia. Of course, there are news from Italy that four Italian clubs will be forced to withdraw from Eurocup because Italian Federation is worried for the vote of Mr. Bauerman, who is obviously part of FIBA and who is taking decisions with the International Olympic Committee, IOC, about hosts of 2024 Olympics, and Rome is one of the bidders, and Italian Federation is very, very shaky about position of the FIBA members in the IOC. So they're forcing the hand of their clubs. In Russia, suddenly Andrei Kirilenko changed his mind a little bit. First, like for 2 months, he was very vigilant, and he was saying one thing straight, that all the clubs who sign up with the Eurocup will suffer some consequences, and there will be some disqualifications, some measures, some bans, and stuff like that. But right now, when we see 4 Russian clubs in the Eurocup, all he's saying is, all right, guys, he sends a letter to FIBA saying that you have to figure it out between you and EuroLeague, not dragging into this the national teams, the clubs, and anyone else. So
I gotta say, I was really wondering when Kirilenko is gonna say, come on, guys, we're hostages. Nobody wants to be in this situation, and finally it came out, and it came out big. Because if I was the Italian Federation, first of all, I would let them do basketball things after what happened in the qualification tournament. First of all, solve your problems. Then let's try and get further and further, getting more Italian clubs in top-notch competitions. I mean, for them, why twist the hands of the clubs? Here in Israel, we had like some sort of a semi or a mini war between the league administration and the Israeli Basketball Union when Hapoel Jerusalem announced we're going to play for the Eurocup. It started like a mini war between 2 sides. But it's something that has to come to an end. It's something that has to be someone's got to find a solution, because it is hurting our basketball, and we like our basketball the way it is.
Well, we can only hope that 2 sides will try to, try to find some solution. They will try to mediate between each other and find some common ground. Right now, it's all just covered up in rumors, and nobody really knows anything. For example, in Russia, once again, there's like a unified position from the league and the clubs that the clubs must have free will of choice, which European competition to play in. But it's on FIBA right now, so to say. The ball's on FIBA side, and we have to see how will they react. And there's no predictions. Basically, anything might happen, literally.
And you know what? I know that you've been waiting for our next part. I know I was. I know that we were both waiting for the next topic, which is, basketball fans, EuroLeague basketball fans, or basically pretty much basketball fans throughout Europe. I got to say, a lot of questions have been asked. We've addressed you. We told you can ask questions. We're gonna talk about them live. We're gonna try and find answers for you guys. And let's go. Okay, so first, Timur from Israel, the Maccabi fans, they wanted to know about the entire Godlock, situation, where it's at. Is he going to come to Maccabi? Is he going to Barcelona? Or, in general?
All we know is that Houston Rockets, where he spent last season, are not keeping him. He's not in their future plans, so he will be definitely moving somewhere. But
that somewhere might be, from what I know, from what I got from my sources a few hours ago, was simple as that. First of all, like we talked about the Euro invasion, the money, the China, not the China, the Chinese league. Right now, a lot of big names, that we've seen play in Europe the past few years. We do know that Godlock would like, to examine all of his possibilities first. We know that the Barcelona thing was, for now, a rumor, and in his top mind, top priority is either staying in the NBA, finding another team that would give him a guaranteed contract, or going to China at the moment, and that goes for him. Another question was about well, we got to say that first for every basketball fans, a lot of players, they might have to make a few sacrifices because some of them haven't played for quite some time, like Erteg or a lot of other top level players, and we might see them coming back to top notch competition.
Yes, so Zoran Erceg is definitely a player who, even after injury, can be very damaging for the opponent with his ability to knock down the long ball and with his, so to say, skill set, especially on offense. Of course, I'm talking about offense. He can be a factor, and he's a finesse guy. He's not a guy who relies on athleticism. So I think definitely he can come back strong, and if he has his stroke, he will definitely have a lot of help for the team that signs him.
Without a doubt, he's going to be a major threat to every team, like in Europe, should he choose to be here. We got to say that every team that managed to keep most of their roster has a huge advantage. For now, everyone's waiting to see where Borussia is going to end up. I'm happy to see that Kyle Hines is going to continue, obviously, with CSKA. He's, for me, one of the amazing players in EuroLeague basketball. We got another question about Deon Thompson. There were reports here regarding the player coming to Maccabi. For now, no such thing. I can say that for now, there isn't any discussion with the player. Is not at the moment on the team's radar. That's that for now.
If you want to ask my opinion, I think he is the person who would fit into what Maccabi is doing right now. He's a player with a huge experience. He played around Europe, and also he's very good on both ends on the floor. He's a person who's capable to create his own shot and make it. But at the same time, I think with Weems, with Quincy Miller on the roster, he will be more of a role player who is assigned some dirty work, defense, working the boards. And at this stage of his career, I think he can be extremely effective, and he can be kind of an X factor, whereas his main role is just to support the team. But at the same time, he can step up because he has that ability, because he has that skill set, and he has that experience of carrying the team.
Usually, I would agree with you, but this time, with the roster being built, Maccabi are looking for another big man. And even though, he played the 4 with Byron, all that, 2 years ago, right now, Maccabi, they offered Joe Alexander to come back. And for now, we can say that, he hasn't replied yet, but the team wants him bad. So, having both Joe Alexander and, Deon Thompson, which we can confirm for now, there are in talks with him, on Maccabi's behalf, then, it's something that cannot work, to my opinion anyways, but like I said, I know that Joe is a player that Maccabi wishes to bring back, and that's, about that for now. Did you get any CSKA questions, maybe?
No, not really. And basically, CSKA, it's already packed. I mean, all the signings are already in place. They have their center. They solidified the center position. Plus, they brought in Semyon Antonov early in the offseason. As far as I know, this is the deal that was being, so to say, on the paper since May, and they just, did all the paperwork to finalize it after the season. But it is an upgrade for CSKA, as good as Demetrius Nichols was in his role last season. Antonov is obviously an upgrade just because he's hungrier, because all these past seasons. He was a big leader for Nizhny Novgorod, but there was a distinct ceiling for the team's success. And when they went to the finals a couple of years ago and played against CSK, and then played in top 16, this was basically already a miracle. So now Semyon Antonov is coming for something real, for some trophies. And I think even if you throw him some garbage time, of course, I'm sure that it will have a more substantial role for him. But even if just theoretically you throw him some garbage minutes, he will just bulldoze his opponents all the time during the shortest stretches, during some seconds. I don't know. He wants to prove himself. He wants to show at this level what he can do. I think this is a great move for CSK, as well as, of course, adding James Augustin, which we already discussed.
I love James Augustin coming to CSKA. I got to say, we got to do like a quick summary, though. I think that right now, the teams that have struck first, they're supposed to talk very strong next season, whether it's Darussafaka going strong on pretty much everything, that has two legs, can bounce, dribble, or shoot the ball. From them till Fenerbahce managing to keep most of their roster, to Perasovic getting to Anadolu, to Maccabi bringing 3 big names, and another one in the making, DJ Sealy. They are very positive about him. They expect him, to go further and further with his career. To get even better and better. They see the potential. And for CSKA, again, amazing market moves. It's uncanny what they've made so far. I think their roster is pretty much closed. I don't see anything they can do, change, or add to be even better than what they are supposed to be right now.
Basically, last season their only deficit was at the center position. Now there's no concern anymore with the James Augustin arrival. So, but basically, what we see is EuroLeague teams really reaching very far as they can to complete their rosters as fast as they can, not to miss on any big names in the market, to finalize their roster as fast as they can. So one of other teams that did that is Milano. They already brought Zoran Dragic from Khimki. They have made important prolongations, for example, with Simon and some other guys. So
they have Kalnietis again. I mean, I love this guy. Kalnietis is for me, he's amazing.
He's a crazy competitor. I mean, he jokes about it himself that his dribbling looks awful, that his shot mechanics is, not textbook type. But at the same time, this is a guy who can just kill you any night because of his aggressiveness and because of how he approaches the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're going to have, without a doubt, definitely a great EuroLeague season. I mean, I can't wait. And you know what? Since we're live, we're going to announce another team joining the Diamantidis tournament in September. And that's going to be Team Scout. Yeah, we're going to be there. And we're going to do a lot of good stuff, good things from there, especially for you guys. And hopefully we're going to see Timur as well. And yeah, it's going to be great. So first of all, Timur, again, thank you so much for tonight joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Part of the lobbyists.
And, of course, I'd like to say that for sure we're awaiting for a great season, but at the same time, let's see how the conflict between FIBA and all other parties play out, because it would be really sad to see national teams being hurt, damaged because of all that. I'm just hoping it really solves out peacefully.
So first of all, again, thank you guys for joining us. We still are the lobbyists, and that was our full court press for you guys. Till the next time.
Thank you. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.